Hi everyone, it's Wednesday the 14th of September and this week's challenge is Overrun Compound, and we've got the star hero of Eugene to help us. Bruisers is starting charged as well, and there's a couple of maps where that'll be useful, particularly if you have the herding riot shield. Hopefully you do. I'll be using it quite a bit, I imagine, to speed things up. There's a couple of horrible maps on here, Looking at You, Data Center and Rat Race, but hopefully I can give you some tips to get through them without too much problem. The weekend event this week is edible component event, so all components you get after mission crates will be for edible, and you'll also be able to trade up your edible lower rarity ones in the trade shop for higher rarity ones. Not a bad event if you're looking for components, and not much to do if you have perfect badges. That's it for weekend events this weekend, so let's get on with the maps. And the first one is Death Trap, one of the simpler maps on the set this week. Start off, you often can't see anything, but it is there. It's around the corner. You need to get on the door for 2 turns and then get to the line. With charged bruisers, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, as I said, especially if you've got the riot shield. What you will notice here is that there is a tank on the level, so you might want to have Zeke in there as well, just to push that away or interrupt it. You can sometimes get blocked, so maybe Riot Shield and Kingdom Shield to try and push your way through, or Zeke with a Morning Star. But I always normally go up the top, round the corner, stun what you can, put Zeke in the way of the tank and get on the door. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Any problems with it, do let me know and I'll give you some advice. Next map we've got is Data Center. So I have moved Glenn down to open the bottom crate in the screenshot, just so I can show you both sides, because when it normally starts you won't be able to see the tank around that corner, so do be aware of that. You need to open the 3 cabinets. There's one where Glenn is, one to the right hand side and one next to the tank at the top. And then you've got to get out on the exit either on the left or the right. A couple of things on this. It's very difficult to move from the start line and not alert the tank to the right. But if the tank on the left is in the one space below where it is on the screenshot, you can actually open this cabinet without alerting it, which can be really handy at high level. Way I'm probably going to play it is similar to what I've got here, except Eugene's going to be in lead. Glenn opening that box on the left first, running in with the riot shield to stun and herd as much as I can, and running to the right hand side, bottom one with Glenn, and then up to the top. Hopefully you've got charged at some point so you can then run back, use a charge attack and get to the line. It's probably the hardest map on the set. I would say most people do struggle with it. I'll try a few different teams to give you some ideas of ways of doing it. If in doubt, then you can always smite it, although there is a large incoming that comes out along the bottom. Could be a bit tricky, but I'm sure it wouldn't be too much of a problem with that team. Anyway, the next map is Car Crash. Again, one of the more simple ones. It does start with some walkers really close to you, but a charged bruiser with a smash attack should take care of that quite easily. You will probably want someone with range on this, because to the left there's quite a few walkers to deal with there as well. So if you can got Mercer, for instance, or Princess in there, get their attention, stun them, kill them quickly, possibly with fire as well. Guardian Carol might be quite a good one as well. But as long as you can get this group stunned at the start, the rest of it's pretty straightforward. Mercer and Beth might actually work quite well. If you can get a circle going sort of midway point, you can get even more damage from Mercer's leader trait that way. But yeah, so that's that one. And the next one is Delivery Man. Probably my favourite map of the whole set. You've got an incoming, you've got a tank on the board, and you've got to find 3 out of 6 crates and get to the line at the end. Quite a tactical map set, good one for prowling and herding if you like using Huntsman Daryl and Peter. Michonne will probably work quite well in it as well because of her threat reduction. Start with the boxes nearest to you. You'll notice there's a red crate there. If you open a red crate, a tank will spawn. It'll spawn in the sort of top middle, and it won't be able to reach the person who opened the crate. So as long as you leave that one till last, you should be okay. At higher levels, it does get really tricky. Probably going to need to throw a few flares on it because the incoming comes in on the line. One tip for that is if the incoming is coming in, you want to stay to the left-hand side of the map, and then it should come out near you, leaving the line free for you to make a dash for. I'll try and show that if I can in one of my videos. Other than that, not much more to say about it. Keep the threat down, get the boxes open, get out. And the next map is Rat Race, which is the other difficult map of the map set. You've got 2 tanks on it, you've got an incoming, and you've got to get all the way to the right hand side. There are choke points, and the incoming comes in very inopportune places. There's 2 tanks, one in the middle area and one to the right hand side. Sometimes it'll stay over on the right hand side, sometimes it'll randomly wander into the middle bit. Taking your time, keeping the threat down does work up to a point. Obviously in Nightmare you'll have massive incomings anyway, and then it gets really tricky, let's be honest. What you can do is set it on fire, cripple it, keep it away with Mercer, silent weapons possibly, although having Eugene in the lead, you can be up close and personal, so you don't want to take too much fire damage. Michonne in there might help keeping the threat down whilst also staying in Overwatch to push the tank away, or having Zeke in there as well. So usually Michonne Zeke will work quite well, I would have thought. Right hand side of the map looks like this. As you can see, thin corridor towards the exit. What you can't see in this picture is there is actually a tank around that corner, which comes around. Surprises me by the looks of it. If that corridor gets filled with walkers, you've got stuff coming in from your left as well, it gets really dicey. So you do want to get through that choke point as quickly as you possibly can. So Morning Stars with push might help. It's a blind corner as well, so you don't know what's around there until you get around there. So you're hoping you've kept the threat down enough and everything's come to get you. But yeah, not a nice map at all. Again, I'll show a few different teams to give you some ideas of how to get through it. Last map of the set is Push On. It's an interesting map because up until Nightmare, it starts with a threat counter, but the threat counter starts at 0. So you can actually take range on this as long as you're using silent weapons. So Mercer with the Obliterator or Daryl's Assault Rifle isn't a bad shout. And will speed things up for you. You start with 2 walkers and a tank in front of you. Once you've dealt with those, you want to move to the right hand side where there's quite a few more walkers and another tank. Kill the other tank and get to the line on the right hand side. So keeping the threat down will really help, so get your silent weapons out. If you are taking a weapon which causes threat, try and have a scout with threat reduction to compensate for it. And yeah, take your time. Higher levels, obviously, it's quite a different matter. You've got it'll start with an incoming, so you can't take your time anymore. And what I tend, if I remember correctly, to do was to get the tank on the left on fire and push through to the right hand side as quickly as possible, getting up into that top right hand corner with a decimator to build a sort of stun wall. So Princess Yumiko might be useful for it. You got Eugene as well to help build that stun wall, and then wait for the 2 tanks to burn out and push your way through to the line. Kind of see why they call it push on now. But that's it. That's all the maps this week, and 4 okay ones, 2 horrible ones, and quite a few get horrible in Nightmare. So not really looking forward to this map set that much, particularly with Eugene and Lead, whose main thing is going to be stunning the initial walkers or creating statuses for others to get charged up on. Zeke's going to be a friend this week because of the amount of tanks that are on the map. As always, if you get stuck or need advice, give me a shout in the comments, and if you've got any suggestions for teams you want to see me use, weapons teams, anything like that, leave them in the comments. I like a challenge. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.